Welcome, everybody, back to Fantastic Short Story Society. My name's Max Tim. We have a couple other people that I've never seen before. I've seen Scott before a few times, I suppose. But we're going to review another trailer, look at the poster, talk about what our thoughts are in terms of this upcoming movie. And this upcoming movie was chosen by who? Elisa.
Our wonderful special guest, Miss Elisa Davidson. Her premiere and farewell episode. Elisa has spent the last several months working with the ISA as an intern, and she's a Max. I mean, it takes me back because that's you and I did that together at the same
exciting.
time.
It's so exciting. Yeah. So where are you going? What are you going to do this summer, Elisa?
So this summer, I have a job already set up, a local part-time job, figuring things out, getting my resume figured out, applying to big girl jobs. But yeah, just taking the summer to figure the rest of my life out. But yeah.
You know, as you say that, I'm like, man, I'd love to have a summer to just figure things out. You know, so enjoy every second of it. Oh my God.
What is the dream destination for you? Let's say we're looking 10 years down the road. What are you doing?
Well, I want to go into producing and as well as writing. Ideally doing a little bit of mixing the two worlds. But yeah, the goal is to get into a studio, a production company, see what I can do. But I'm very open to the fact that in film, it's very easy to change up your plan. Things don't always go according to plan. So we'll see what happens.
New opportunities make themselves available and you just don't know. So just had to throw that out there in case there's any production heads watching this. And I do want to ask, you picked this movie and I'm glad you did because I've heard a little bit about it, which to me, it always had kind of a little Twilight Zone-y vibe. Why did you pick this movie for us to look at today?
So I am, first of all, a big A24 fan and a big horror fan. And I was interested in, I saw a couple videos like discussing it, didn't watch too much of it because I was like, I don't want to get spoilers for the trailer. But kind of discussing how it's a very scary movie, but a very important movie to watch. And since I know nothing about it, I was like, I wonder why that is.
Okay.
What's the story? What's going on? And I also saw, like, the poster to me, it was very very colorful, very interesting. I like the font. I like the colors that they chose. It was very intriguing to me. So I was like, I want
throwback.
Yeah.
Throwback-y, if I want to be very particular with my word choice. I got a Poltergeist vibe immediately.
Exactly what I was going to say. Only purplish.
Yeah. I think a big part of why we do these little Fantastic Short Story Society videos is for, like, from an educational standpoint for all the creatives out there watching. What do we get out of just your, like, less than pitch? You know, if we're just putting some kind of small teaser, which is a poster, or even quite literally a teaser video or trailer release, what do we as just a basic audience get out of this? And I think it's so important for any creative to consider the audience's expectation of your material. And so it's fun to just see our own personal reactions to something that a whole bunch of other creative people did. And, you know, we'll be the judge and determine whether or not we want to actually watch this thing.
Yeah. I will mention that this movie won the Audience Award at South by Southwest last year, which you can't get much more prestigious than that. Jane Schoenbrunn is the writer and director of this. She also did I'm Going to the World's Fair, or Let's Go to the World's Fair, something along those lines.
Okay.
Which was a kind of a mind-bendy, twisty, what is reality type of, again, creepy horror. So we'll see if her style continues to come out like that. And that one, I think, was at that was a Sundance release a few years back. So this is definitely an up and coming storyteller.
Yeah. So Elisa, where did you hear about this in the first place? Because I have not even heard of this.
So I'm always on TikTok, and I watch a ton of like movie review TikToks. A lot of people who like also review trailers, and they were all very excited about it and saying it was like the new horror movie. Someone was saying it was the horror movie of the year, and I was like,
wow.
oh, okay. So
Okay. I guess we should be. I hate to admit it. Every time I have a notification on my TikTok app, I'm like, oh God, get rid of it.
I know. It's one of those apps. It's like I need to delete it, but I'm always on it.
I know.
So.
I know. God.
Yeah, I've got to delete it, but then what will I do with my day?
Exactly.
Right. Well, should we just jump in?
Let's do it. Here we go.
I know this might sound crazy. I don't want to alarm you. Do you remember a TV show we used to watch together? It was called
The Pinko Pig?
Yeah. Do you watch? Each episode, they help each other fight a new monster from across the county. But it's way too scary for most kids.
We're gonna defeat him this time. We're gonna need to harness the full potential of our shared powers.
Sometimes the Pinko Pig feels more real than real life.
Maddie, it was a TV show.
Are you sure that's all it was? I like girls, you know that, right?
Totally, that's fine.
What about you? Do you like girls?
I think that I like TV shows.
It's our destiny.
How can I have a destiny?
Something's wrong. This isn't how life is supposed to feel. Tell me you know it's true.
Maddie, it's just the suburbs.
Seems like you're always somewhere else lately.
Maddie disappeared without a trace. All they found was her TV set burning in the backyard. I told myself I made the right choice. What if I really was someone else? Very far away on the other side of a television screen.
Saw the TV glow. Interesting. Lisa, I want to know your reaction first.
I loved it. It was so good. It was like, it was just so nostalgic without even trying to be. Like the imagery, the color. Oh, I love the colors. The colors were gorgeous. It seems like it's going to be like a gorgeous movie, even without the story. It was beautiful to look at.
It did have an art piece film way about it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Scott, go ahead. I'm not exactly sure how to.
Yeah, because it felt like a 2.5 or however long it was minute teaser, because I still felt like we didn't get a lot.
Yeah.
As far as the you know what's happening here, and that's perhaps good to be guarded, because it might be one of those that you have to really just experience it to fully understand it, which is a tough spot for the editor of the trailer to be in. But yeah, I mean, I love anytime you saw a glimpse of that wacky, weird show that they're referencing. It has such a early 90s VHS both quality to it, both in terms of the film grain and also just the lack of CG effects, that kind of cheesiness that's still like got this campy charm about it.
Yeah.
But it is really hard to grasp, like, what the hell is this movie?
It seems anytime I see masterpiece put up in a trailer, I'm like, all right, I guess I'm gonna have to see if it's a masterpiece. Like, that's, you can't get much better than a review than that. But I think what I liked about it was that it seemed even more so a character piece. It was like a character story as opposed to just some horror movie.
Yeah.
I didn't really see, I mean, how much horror did I actually see in that? It seemed almost like there was a sci-fi level to it as opposed to straight horror. So that is intriguing. At the same time, there was a very uneasy feeling to how the actors were acting. Almost like, and I hope this isn't offensive, but almost as if they were on the spectrum, which maybe they are. Like, that's fine. But that then made the rest of it feel like, wow, how are they going to then meander through some form of a situation here, which is kind of what you're saying, Scott. I don't know what the situation is necessarily.
yeah, obviously one of the characters disappears at one point, but yeah, there is some level of them seeming disassociated, maybe with the world around them.
Yeah,
kind of an uncanniness about that.
Yeah.
Maybe they're connecting more to this old TV show that you can't even watch anymore than they are to the world around them.
Totally seemed that way. Yeah.
Yeah, I definitely agree. It felt very like distorted from reality. Like they can't make sense of the world that they're in right now, so it's easier to place themselves in this other world, if that makes sense.
Totally.
Yeah.
And I think that's multiple generations are feeling that way right now, which is probably one reason why this kind of movie could probably really stick with people. From a visual standpoint, I think I totally agree with Elisa. It really did look like this is going to be an experience that we have that we're just going to sit back and be like, what is going on? This is wow, you know?
Yeah. And probably a slower burn, as far as pacing goes. But that can be so great for ramping up the creepiness factor as well.
Yeah. For whatever reason, the term like YA horror comes into play, which you could argue a lot of horror is for the young adult audience, but this felt very specific to a YA audience, which I think there's something to it from the marketing standpoint. Obviously, Elisa saw this on TikTok. They're marketing it toward your generation. What's amazing about those movies that it eventually finds it to our generation, and then we are like, oh wow, what is this? And suddenly we start to look at it differently. I don't know if I'm excited to see it. I'm definitely interested to see how it's gonna. When did we see a release date? I didn't see
it. It actually opened limited just this past weekend.
Okay.
Only in 4 theaters, and it easily won the weekend as far as the per theater average, like $29,000 per theater on 4 screens. So it's one of these that I think is going to build that word of mouth. And I'm sure that's their design, that, hey, we got something special here that's hard to market. So let's do this slow release. We'll get the film nerds to come out right away, and then they won't be able to shut up about how good it is. And then it expands.
Yeah. A24 tends to stick to their guns when it comes to here's our style and you're going to like it or not. So it'll be interesting to see, because I don't know how many horror movies A24 has done. It could be a few. I don't remember,
sure,
but it'll be interesting to see if they release a different trailer that specifies a little bit more about the story. This seemed like it was all about character.
Right. So Lisa, you say you're a horror fan. I'm just out of curiosity and maybe to compare with this, what are, like, just off the top of your head, a handful of your favorite horror movies?
I'm a big Jordan Peele fan.
Oh,
I love
nice.
Jordan Peele's movies. I think they have an element of story and character, like we were just discussing. I think there's a lot of depth behind that horror that you feel it very deeply because it's a very well thought out concept. I really love Us. Us is my favorite horror movie probably ever.
Oh wow, I haven't seen it yet. Okay.
It's so scary. Like, I've watched it several times, and every time I'm like, ooh, stop.
Okay.
It's so intense, and Lupita Nyong'o, especially as an actress,
She's awesome.
Amazing. She has such an amazing performance, and she's able to portray 2 characters so terrifyingly. And it's one of those movies where the twists and turns just genuinely take you by surprise and make the movie so much more like unsettling. You're just like on the edge the whole time because you don't know what the characters are unpredictable. The story's unpredictable. You don't know where it's going to go.
Yeah. Okay. Us. Wow. So some older scary horror movies that you might like.
Let me see.
I can't wait to find out what older means.
Oh boy. Yeah, you're gonna.
I don't care, doesn't it?
I'm gonna say Silence of the Lambs.
Oh,
okay.
Best.
Not controversial at all. But yeah, I'm a big psychological thriller type of, those are my movies. But yeah, again, with the acting, I think the acting really sells it. I think the story is intense. I like a movie that kind of grabs a hold of you and doesn't let go. And it's one of those movies that feels brutal and gripping, and you're just watching every second of it to see how these two characters are interacting, where they're going to go, how they're kind of like back and forth is going to end up.
For sure. There's an investment in the characters that is the first and foremost priority. And then the rest is just like, okay, let's see how, it's just it's a serial killer movie. I mean, that's technically what it is.
Yeah.
Have you seen The Witch with Anya Taylor-Joy?
I haven't. No,
I watched it.
I really want to.
Scott, was I with you? We saw it in some screening. Yeah.
Yeah, we did.
I was almost sick to my stomach. It was so uncomfortable. Not because of the visuals. Like, there were some visuals that were pretty great.
Right. It
was just this unsettling feeling the entire time through. Very difficult to watch, but incredibly well done. I wouldn't say it's by any means like one of my favorite movies, but mainly because a lot of these movies can't be my favorite movies. Like, how do you define favorite movie? It has to have genre.
No, right.
But anyway, I don't know why The Witch popped into my head. I just feel like you'd like it.
Yeah. And in the meantime, I don't know if you've seen it yet or not, but the original Poltergeist, I think, is a tremendous supernatural paranormal movie. Some of the effects are a little bit campy because it was early 80s.
Right.
But just knowing that the poster that we saw, like, I wonder if there's going to be more references to that era of horror. So if you haven't seen Poltergeist, the original Poltergeist yet, maybe it would be worth watching before this movie comes out.
I'll have to check it out. Yeah. I
think so. Yeah. Well, good choice, Elisa. I think that was the first one where Scott and I were like, huh. Yeah. I'm excited about it, but
confused. Yeah.
Because so often in horror, it's the conceit or this is what cool story or weird paranormal things going on. And the characters are such a backseat. And this is quite obviously not that way.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. Well, that was fun. We should do more, but in the meantime, you have to figure things out this summer.
Yes, I do.
Enjoy every bit of it. Hopefully the summer weather on the East Coast hangs in there in a nice, happy way. But Scott, anything else that we want to hit on before we hit the road?
No, I would just thank you so much, Elisa, for everything you've done. It's been such a pleasure working with you. And I'm happy that we get to do this grand finale send-off, give you some screen time too, because you are definitely part of the ISA family forever. So anytime you need anything from us, we're here.
For sure. Yeah.
Thank you so much for everything, guys. This was so fun. I had such a good time.
Good. All right. Well, as always, everybody, thank you for watching. Just keep us posted. Comment down below this video. Let us know what you think of the trailer. Anything, good or bad, positive or negative. It doesn't matter. We just want to hear your thoughts. We're going to be doing a lot more of these as we go forward. And as always, there are stories everywhere. If you hear of any, let us know. And you may just be indicted. I almost said indicted into inducted. It's Monday when we're recording. Inducted into the Fantastic Story Society. Thanks, everybody. We'll see you soon.